Hello, and thank you for joining me for this Sunday sermon from Holy Saviour Church in Hitchin. I'd like just to read to you a short passage from Luke's Gospel, chapter 14, beginning at the first verse. One Sabbath, when Jesus went to eat in the house of a prominent Pharisee, he was being carefully watched. When he noticed how the guests picked the places of honour at the table, he told them this parable. When someone invites you to a wedding feast, do not take the place of honour, for a person more distinguished than you may have been invited. If so, the host who invited both of you will come and say to you, "Give this person your seat." Then, humiliated, you'll have to take the least important place. But when you are invited, take the lowest place, so that when your host comes, he will say to you, "Friend, move up to a better place." Then you will be honoured in the presence of all the other guests. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Jesus then said to his host, "When you give a luncheon or dinner, do not invite your friends, your brothers or sisters, your relatives, or your rich neighbours. If you do, they may invite you back, and so you will be repaid. But when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed. Although they cannot repay you, you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous." In our gospel passage, Jesus is invited to the house of a leading Pharisee. However, as soon as he walks into this man's house, he senses a cold, critical attitude towards him. His adversaries are watching him closely, and they're hoping to find grounds to bring some kind of accusation against him. We can observe other people with friendly eyes, with hostile eyes, or just very indifferent eyes. When you look at another person with warmth, with friendliness, it means that from the outset, you're well disposed towards them. And what a difference that makes. You're looking for the good in him or her. And you're ready to excuse the not so good. You're open to him or her and disposed to learn from that person, to feel that weight of warm, friendly eyes. It's something really lovely. It's something quite beautiful. It puts us at our ease. It makes us feel really quite welcome deep down. And then when you look at somebody with hostile eyes, it means that right from the start, you're ill-disposed towards that person. You're looking for their faults. You're going to be disappointed in a way if you don't find them. You don't give him or her a chance to prove themselves. We've already made up our minds about that person. Even if we can't find fault in what she or he does, we can always cast doubt on their motives. We're not disposed to learn anything good from that person because our minds are already closed against them. And our minds are closed because our hearts are closed too. We all know what it is to feel the weight of hostile eyes on us. It's a horrible, horrible feeling. And then when you look at somebody with just very, very kind of indifferent eyes, it means you don't really particularly care about them one way or another. You might see their efforts, you might see their sadness, you might even see their tears, but they just don't really mean that much. You're not interested in him or her. You're not really concerned about them. Perhaps you even hardly see them. It's as if she or he wasn't really there. In the gospel passage, as soon as Jesus enters the house, he knows, he realises that the Pharisees are watching him with hostile eyes. They've already made up their minds about him, and they really want to get rid of him. All they need is some kind of hard evidence. Many people are inquisitive about the faults of others, but they're rather negligent to correct their own. In fact, nothing so blinds us to our own faults as a preoccupation with the faults of other people. So it was that Jesus was able to turn the tables on the Pharisees. He too had been observing them, though out of different motives, and he saw things that he didn't like. Turning first of all to his fellow guests, he comments on their shabby scramble for the places of honour, and this indicates that they're there not to honour their host, but just to honour themselves. But then he also has a word for his host. In giving the meal, he seems to be doing something that's very generous, until you look at the kind of people who he's invited. He's invited his mates, his cronies, who would invite him to theirs in return. And if you think about it, what's so generous about that? That kind of giving is a sort of an investment. He would get it back, and what's more, he'd get it back with a profit. Jesus suggests to him that if he wants to do something really generous, he should invite the kind of people who would never be able to invite him to their houses. True giving occurs when there's nothing expected in return. So, there are obvious lessons for us in all of this. With what kind of eyes do we observe other people? The Pharisees would have been better employed looking at themselves and their own faults. And sometimes, so should we. Our hymn for today, all my hope on God is founded, and may God's peace go with you.